Yeah. Yeah, y'all already know what time it is. Y'all been looking, y'all been asking. You already know what time it is. It's draft time. And who else to get your draft started off? Then Saw Sports. Let's get it. Who we got in the building today?
Man, you got your boy Third Coast Sports TV. Wink is in the building. You know what it is. Giving y'all a Houston, Texas mock draft today.
You got your boy Wise in the building. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Shout out to my brother Spit. Shout out to my brother Wink. Y'all already know what time of the season it is. It's draft season, and ain't nobody do it better than Salt Sports.
The original roundtable. Houston's original roundtable. Off the imitate, never duplicate. Let's get it, man. So, Wise, man, go and get into these picks.
Man, so at the number 2 pick, we had to do some consultations. We had to do some consultation. Let me tell you, because we we all didn't want the same guy at the number 2 pick, but we had to do a series heads or tails. To be honest, I'm just being honest with y'all. And at the end of the day, with the number 2 pick, your Houston Texans select Bryce Young. Bryce Young, quarterback out of Alabama, 6 feet tall. Some people will say he 5'10". Some people will say he 5'11". Some people say he 168 pounds. Some people say he 200 pounds. We don't know until the combine starts. But fellas,
Right.
I want to see y'all's takes on how Bryce Young will come and impact the Houston Texans going forward as a franchise. And do you see this as a good impact on the team, or do you think this is a bad pick for the Houston Texans?
Personally, I think it's the best pick that could be made, for the Houston Texans at this point. Davis Mills is not the answer. You get an immediate starter who you have for years to come. Great ball, great accuracy, uh, very quick decision maker. Does everything he can to protect himself, make sound decisions, and he makes guys around him better. Everything that the Houston Texans need, and what better player for D'Amico Ryan to have attached to his career right off of the gate. Hands down, I believe that Bryce Young was the guy, always was the guy, and will always be the guy.
You have a leader of men with your new head coach, D'Amico, and I believe you have another leader of men on the field when it comes to Bryce. Bryce is a general. He goes out there, he handles business. No matter what, like no matter rain, sleet, or snow, no matter what time it is, he always shows up and plays to the best of his ability. The boy is just a baller. Just a straight up baller, just a straight up gamer. I mean, the boy can make all different type of throws, and I keep on harping back on this. The play against Tennessee on third down when he's scrambling outside, jukes a defender, stops and gets in perfect form and delivers the ball for 15 yards to get a first down. You can't teach that. That's something that you cannot teach. I don't care who your quarterbacks coach is, who your offensive coordinator is, who your head coach is. Those are instincts that you cannot teach, and those are things that will get you. That's the reason why the Chiefs are in the playoffs in the Super Bowl right now, because of instincts like that when it comes to Pat. And Bryce has those same type of instincts, and I definitely believe you have a franchise quarterback when you drafting somebody like Bryce Young.
Absolutely.
I'll have to agree with both of y'all. I think Bryce Young could be a franchise quarterback. I do think he can be a superstar quarterback in this league, um, especially for this new era of football. We see the NFL coming to a new trend with mobile quarterbacks, guys that can make plays with their feet, guys that's elusive, guys that can extend plays, guys who can throw on the run, guys who can basically go out there and win games for their team and put their team on the back. And we see that from guys like Deshaun Watson in the past. We've seen that from guys like Patrick Mahomes. We've seen that from guys like Joey Burrow. And I think Bryce Young has those type of traits. And to me, this is a no-brainer pick, whether it was going to be him or CJ Stroud at this pick. And I think the Texans are going to be looking bright and having a bright future with Bryce Young leading this team going forward. So at the 12th pick, fellas, this was an easy one for us. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't have to do no consultation on this one. It was literally put in the draft ticket and let's go ahead
We,
and
we
make
ran to the we
Yeah.
ran to the podium on this one. We ran to the podium on this
it. And at the number
What's up,
12
buddy?
pick, yeah, exactly. At the number 12 pick, the Houston Texans select Miles Murphy, defensive end out of Clemson University. So, what's y'all thoughts on this pick, fellas? And do you see him being a good addition to the Houston Texans team?
good. You mean great? I mean, I think he's a premier pass rusher. Um, to be honest, I know people feel about Will Anderson. I'm not saying he's better than Will Anderson because I think they're right there. But he's more aggressive. He has a lot more aggression. And I think this pick right here will make the defense very, very aggressive. And I think we'll have some dogs on this defense. There's a clip that from D'Amico when he was a defensive coordinator with the 49ers. He said, "Hey, don't be scared. Don't be scared to hit nobody. We got pass on today. He ain't gonna be scared to hit nobody. He ain't gonna be scared to hit nobody. He gonna come in. He gonna lay that wood. He gonna come in here." And I believe that it's going to obviously help out the secondary when you have a bomb pass rush like that. And I think we're going to have a lot of aggression on defense. I can't wait. It's going to be some dogs in that defense.
I couldn't agree more, man. We already see what he's able to do with guys like Nick Bosa. You see what he's doing with the guys in the front seven like Drake Greenlaw and all of these guys and the havoc that he's able to create with some of his schematics up front. Very good. He plays with very good gap discipline. He's able to play. He's able to set the edge. He's able to get inside rush. He's able to beat offensive tackles quite often. You know what I'm saying? Very lengthy, very fast, very good speed, power. You know, so this is a guy that you definitely need. You know, on this football team because even though we have Jonathan Gennard and we had Jerry Hughes, we could always make something that's slightly weak a little bit better, and what better player that you could have to be able to fall in your lap at pick 12.
And I'm gonna have to agree with y'all again. This was a phenomenal pick. I mean, for a guy like Myles Murphy to fall to pick 12 would be a blessing for the Houston Texans on draft day. When you look at Myles Murphy, yeah, a lot of people look at his numbers and say, well, his numbers wasn't as great as Willie Anderson number at the end of the day. But when you really look at it, he had a more stacked defense this year on that Clemson defense when it comes to talent in that front seven. Because he had guys like Trenton Simpsons that's getting sacks. He has guys like Brian Brees out there getting sacks. He has other guys on that defense as well, young players on that Clemson defense that was making plays. So, but when I look at the film and I look at his frame and I look at his pass rush, he has a great bull rush. He has great hand work. He has a good spin move, and I mean, you can't teach Ben. That's one thing that I always learned was like you can't teach Ben when it comes to this NFL league, and it just comes naturally, and he has it naturally, and he will be a steal. And what we've seen from this 49er defense over the last 5 to 10 years is they always had a style. They always had a style front seven, and so if we're gonna give D'Amico these tools, guys like Myles Murphy pairing them up with a veteran in Rasheem Green and a veteran in Mario Addison's and a veteran in Jerry Hughes and then Jonathan Grenard. I mean, we're already talking about a pass rush that's automatically getting better, and hopefully our run game will get better moving up from that worse in the league spot that we had last year. So moving on to the next pick. At pick 33, we decided to trade back. And the reason why we decided to trade back, it was too much talent left on the board. And I mean, a lot of guys that we like, we was like, we can afford to pick up extra talent later in the draft if we move back only 6 picks. So we decided to trade back, and I'm going to show you all the details real fast. So we traded back with Carolina from pick 33, and we gave them our pick 65 in the 2023 draft. And Houston received pick 39 from the Carolina Panthers. We received pick 61 in the second round from the Panthers. We received the third round pick 93 from the Panthers. And we also received round 5, pick 147 from the Panthers. So we got phenomenal value just to move back 6 picks. And the guy that we was able to take at pick 39 was B.J. Ujulari out of LSU. And y'all already know how I feel about him. How do y'all feel about this guy, fellas?
It was a no-brainer. When I seen that he was still on the board once we moved back, and I understand that we had a couple of other needs that, we probably could have been able to get like another premium player, but I think this was just too good to pass up. It really was. Like, B.J. Ujulari, bro, first off, he's just too damn fast. Bro, he is relentless. He is always in the backfield. He's always making plays. He's doing everything that D'Amico Ryans is saying that he wants with the Houston Texans defense going forward. And that's like candy, man. They swarming. They're swarming. It's going to be like a beehive up there in the front seven. I understand there's probably a couple of other ways we could do. We kind of trumped. You know, I think me and Wise collectively was just like, hey, we had the Trump spits on this one because it was just too much value at the pick, especially to be able to move back 6 spots and still get a phenomenal player who's going to be able to make an immediate impact. Very healthy guy, great punch, plays with great leverage, extremely fast, instinctual, and always delivers when you need him the most. BJ Ujulari is that dude.
How you feeling about this one, Spitz? Because we missed out on your guy because we took BJ.
See, the trade was phenomenal. I agree with the trade. Applause on the trade. But they were absolutely right. They trumped me. And they trumped me in the war room over this BJ. And again, it's nothing against BJ. BJ is a phenomenal talent. I wouldn't mind having BJ. But it's a luxury pick because you just drafted Miles Murphy. Hey. You don't need 2 edge rushers. I mean, you do need 2 edge rushers, but there were other people on the board, and it came back to bite us later on in the draft. And I will explain at the more point in time when it comes back to bite us, because it was another position that we should have taken at this spot that we passed on because of how the board was falling. I agree. Again, I agreed on the trade back. It was a lot of talent. Still was a lot of talent at this spot.
It was.
But then when BJ was again was a absolutely luxury pick. Phenomenal player. Love to have him on the team. The pass rush is going to be phenomenal. It's going to help out the secondary. It's going to help out D'Amico's defense. It's going to help out the offensive guys because the defense is going to stay get off the field quicker. Offense is going to get more possession. I understand all of that. I know you want to have some dogs. Yeah, I understand all of that. But the way the board was and who was left on the board and who you passed up on, and again, it came back to bite you later on in the draft. I don't agree with this pick. Like the player, don't agree with the selection because you already had Miles Murphy. That's all I got to say about it.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. To me, I understand Spit's frustration, but BJ Ujulari different, bro. He a younger brother. Aziz Ujulari, his older brother, played for a linebacker for the New York Football Giants. I mean, the football is already in the family, and I mean, when you watch LSU football games, this guy's running sideline to sideline, making plays behind the line of scrimmage. He's making sacks. He's jumping 5 yards to make sacks. He's getting double teamed. He's pushing guys 5 yards off the line when it comes to offensive tackles. I mean, he's just the best player on the field when you watch an LSU defense at the end of the day. So, I mean, him and Miles Murphy, you add him with a Jonathan Grenard in that pass rushing rotation, and that run defense is going automatically, I would say, go from number 32 to probably like number 17 to 16, middle of the pack of the league when you add in 2 guys like that, because you're going to have a fresh rotation on that front four when it comes to the defensive end and that defensive tackle position, depending on how D'Amico moves guys in and out. But at pick 61, this is the other pick that we wound up getting in that trade package with Carolina. We decided to take Steve Avila, the center, out of TCU. How y'all feeling about this pick, fellas?
Well, again, we drafted Bryce with the second pick in the draft. It makes too much sense. Again, no matter how you slice it, no matter if he's 6 foot, 5'8", whatever it is, if he's 195 pounds, 165 pounds, 210 pounds, wherever he is, he's still a smaller frame guy. And he needs protection, especially up front, because he likes to move out of the pocket. So you need to help him get some of the pocket lanes closed out so he can move out of the pocket. So you don't want to apply the pressure up front. So you need some protection. You don't want to make the mistake that you made with Deshaun Watson. You don't want to make the mistake that the Colts made with Andrew Luck. You don't want to repeat the same mistake you made with David Carr. You want to get your guy protection. You want him to be able to sit. You want him to be able to operate comfortably behind the offensive line. You got 2 buck-end left tackles, and Larry Tunsil and Tyus Howard. You drafted Green last year. Get some help in the interior, and let's build this thing from front to back and able to build this thing up so he's able to be comfortable in this offense and get a lot of protection. I agree with the pick. It was a no-brainer. They had to get protection for Bryce.
Yeah, to tag along with what Spitz is saying, yeah, you definitely needed to replace it for Scott Quisenberry. He was getting pushed back way too much. We had a lot of interior pressure, whether it was run stuffs, whether it was just total QB pressure, or whether guys were getting backdoored consistently, on the backside blocks. Guys were just getting pushed around way too often, and I think Steve Avila gives you everything that you need going forward. May end up taking him a little bit of time to be able to get adjusted to the NFL, but once he does with this coaching staff, I have no doubt that he'll end up being one of the better centers in the league. Great pick, love it. How you feel about it, Wise?
I think this was a phenomenal pick as well because Steve Avila, these is one of the guys I watched throughout the season. I seen him go against Yaka Ika out of Baylor. He dominated him twice this year, Big 12 championship, and when they played Baylor in the regular season. Also, he dominated against the Georgia defense, and he dominated against Michigan's defense. This guy's the truth. Also, when he was in the Senior Bowl, I seen plenty of highlights of him being able to dominate against some of the top talent that's coming out in this draft. So at the
Yeah,
end of the day, he's a stout guy. He can play center, he can play guard, and that was one of our worst positions on this offensive line last year.
yeah,
When we was looking at right guard with AJ Cam, when we was looking at Quisenberry at center, I mean, it was just poor. It was unacceptable. And when you got a guy with the frame like Bryce Young, you want to be able to protect him. We've seen what happened with Deshaun when he first got in the league, getting 65 sacks. We don't want that to happen to Bryce Young and having to start
right.
this process over in the next couple of years. So for me, this is an A+ pick. But we got to go on to the next pick, pick 73. One of my favorite picks of the draft. We take a Houston receiver in Houston and keep him in Houston, and that's going to be Tank Dell, Nathaniel Dell, wide receiver out of the University of Houston. How y'all feeling about this pick, fellas?
Man, look, hands down after Bryce Young, after C.J. Stroud, after the quarterback position, this is hands down. After I started seeing him, he is hands down my favorite player in this draft offensively. There's no other player that is as explosive in this draft as Tank Dell. Man, this guy is mixing dudes up, phenomenal footwork. We talking Antonio Brown, like Chad Johnson level type of footwork. Like this dude is mixing dudes up, causing crazy separation. Extreme speed, can track the ball well, gets his head around, secures catches, is a natural pass catcher, is not a body catcher, and he's gonna deliver you, to your front doorstep with a touchdown ASAP Rocky. This dude right here is the truth, hands down my favorite wide receiver in the draft, my third favorite prospect, and I even have to. It's a shame. Before this season, it was undoubtedly that Will Anderson was my absolute favorite pick before this draft. After doing more research with Nathaniel Dell, he's my third favorite player in the draft. Period. Phenomenal value.
To quote my brother Wise, Wiles, 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 Wiles,
He
Wiles,
like that.
Wiles. Number 3, Wiles.
Yes.
But no, it was absolutely a phenomenal selection. I'm a huge Tank Dell fan. I seen what he did to my team personally when he came up and played against Texas Tech earlier this season. I mean, me and Wink was watching his Senior Bowl highlights. Dude was literally out here Wakandering forever. He did an X cross with his feet while he mixing boys up. He had literally Wakandering forever. Dudes up on these routes. This dude here is extremely fast. You can't cover him in the phone book. You can't. I mean, in the phone booth, you cannot cover him in the phone book. He's lightning quick. He's explosive. He's gonna make a lot of splash plays. And pairing him up with a quarterback like Bryce Young is gonna be trouble for the NFL, and they're gonna do a lot of damage. A lot.
Man, I gotta agree with y'all, man. Tank Dell, the best player on the University of Houston football team. I mean, when you watch U of H games, ain't nobody been more better than Nathaniel Dell or Tank Dell, whatever you want to call him at the end of the day at U of H. I mean, he makes the games. Specifically, if you go back and watch that game when they played UTSA and went into like triple overtime. I mean, this guy was going crazy. He got the game winning touchdown to tie it up and going overtime. The guy was dominant. It didn't matter if you triple team him. It don't matter if you double team him. He could play on the slot. He could play on the outside. He can juke guys up. He's one of the most shifty receivers in his draft. And to be honest, he kind of reminds me of a guy of like Tyreek Hill. And to be able to bring a guy like that and put him in the slot position, and knowing that you're bringing back a John Mechie, and knowing that you got a Nico Collins, and you're actually going to bring in a franchise quarterback with Bryce Young. I mean, when we're looking at this offensive receiving threat, looking forward, I mean, it's way more potential for this team, and I mean, it's gonna be hard to guard these type of guys because they too fast. I mean, who's gonna be able to stop Nathaniel Dell? Who's gonna be able to stop John Mechie? Who's gonna be able to stop Nico? I mean, you can't double team all these guys, and these guys are gonna be able to beat their matchups. They're all good route runners at the end of the day, and I think this was great value with the pick number 73. Um, but going into pick number 93, uh, we picked linebacker out of Alabama, and this was another pick associated to that Carolina trade that we did early in the draft. Henry Toto Odo. How you feeling about this pick, Spitz?
Remember what I said earlier? Going after BJ is gonna bite you. This is where it is. And I like Toto, and I think you need to get a linebacker. You definitely did. But the reason why when BJ was on the board, Antonio Johnson was on the board. Now, like I said, Wise and Wink trumped me. I wanted to get Antonio Johnson. I wanted to get a safety. Like, oh man, we can get LJ Skinner. When we got to this part of the draft, LJ was off the board. So we went here and took Toto. Now again, we need a linebacker, and I agree we need a linebacker. But in my original scenario, we would have a linebacker and a safety. Now we just have a linebacker with no safety. But Alabama linebacker, Alabama inside linebacker, somebody's going to get a lot of coaching out of D'Amico Ryans. I'm pretty sure D'Amico Ryans has some familiarity with him from him being him being an Alabama grad, him being an Alabama student. So I'm pretty sure they'll be able to get they probably have some type of familiarity. Also, he has a relationship with Christian Harris. He played opposite Christian Harris last year at Alabama. So a lot of familiarity right there. I think it's a very good pick, and you need the help inside. So I definitely think it's a good selection. But I would prefer to also have a safety in this spot too. But the draft board, they fall that way. So
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. I was kind of upset with this pick to be honest. At the end of the day, because when you really look at it, like Spick said, you could have had JL Skinner with this pick. You also could have had my boy. You could have had my boy. Uh, what's his name? The other
Jack
safeties.
Campbell.
You could have had my boy Jack Campbell at this pick at linebacker, but we decided to go go with Tank Dell because I mean Tank Dell value has went up, and BJ Ujulari, like Spitz said, we got greedy. I mean, but when you really looked at that rush game last year, we really needed to. The secondary wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
Even though I agree we do need to add to the secondary when it comes to the cornerback position and the safety position. Hopefully, we're able to address that position with a guy like Jimmy Ward in free agency. But Toto Odo, this guy overall to me, he was a linebacker that transferred from the University of Tennessee, wound up transferring to Alabama, and was still to be able to be one of the best players on that Alabama's defense. And this guy's athletic; he can make plays sideline to sideline. He's a good run stopper, and he's okay in coverage. He's pretty. He's one of the better linebackers in coverage when you're looking at this draft class. So I think it's good value to get a guy like Henry Toto Odo at pick number 93. And how you feel about that? We didn't get your thoughts on that.
Good pick, especially where we got him. I think he just kept falling and falling, and we got him at a very good spot. So in terms of value, I think he's probably one of the better value picks that we got within this draft. Definitely needed to address linebacker in this draft. We were looking to try to make some other options. The way that the board was falling, guys were flying off, and I think this was probably one of our safest picks at the time. For us to be able to get an inside linebacker to be able to pair up with what we already have in Christian Harris, who's going to have some familiarity, and then he already has Bama ties, and will be able to take his game to another level with D'Amico Ryan. So I have no problem with the pick whatsoever.
All right. And then with the next pick 104, this is another pick that I liked in this draft. We picked Sam LaPorta, tight end out of Iowa, and we know what Iowa tight ends do, and we know that we need to add another tight end to this roster, even though we taken one in the draft the last 3 years. How y'all feeling about this pick, fellas?
Yeah, LaPorta very good. Can run block, can pass catch. He's very reliable. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some things he's going to be able to clean up. At the NFL level. Being able to make sure that he properly sets the edge more often within the run game. I think it's going to be somebody for Bryce to be able to rely on third downs. When you need to. Instead of worrying about guys like Rex Burkhead. You can be able to dump the ball off to a guy like, him, Jordan Akins, Quentin Tarantino, you know what I'm saying? And, have a deeper tight end room, and when you need to get in those heavy sets, when you need some blocking for Damian Pierce, you already have all those guys on the line being able to make max effort for him to be able to get touchdowns in short goal situations. So definitely another good pick that I like.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely need depth on the tight end position because the tight end position is up for grabs. I know a lot of people think that came on strong, Akins came on strong towards the end of last year. Right. I think a lot of that is a little fugaziness because when he had a better quarterback in Deshaun, he didn't look like that. So how he looked? Why we look even more better and developed with Davis Mills and Pep Hamilton. I think a lot of that was fool's gold. A lot of that was a little fugaziness on the offensive part, during the whole tanking time of the season. I think LaPorta could step in, especially with a quarterback like Bryce and whoever we get to call plays. If it is Cliff Kingsbury, whoever it is that's calling plays, I think they can dial some things up. And then you also pair him up with the kid out of Oregon State we got last year. I can't think of his name.
Tegan Quintario.
Quintario. Yeah. You pair them up. I think they could be very, very dangerous in the red zone. And like Week was saying, now you don't have to check down the Rex Burkhead. He's a better reliable option on third down checks. I actually like this pick a whole lot.
And I don't think I need even to expand anymore on what y'all said. I mean, I agree with everything y'all said. I mean, it's nothing for me to add to that. I love Sam LaPorta. He's one of my favorite tight ends coming out in this draft class. He's going to be a great addition, especially for a guy like Bryce Young. He's going to need somebody to do checkdowns to. That's something D'Amico Ryan said. Hey, we're going to need a quarterback that's going to be able to diagnose, hey, when nothing's open, when your first look not open, when your first second read not open, when your third read not open, hey, check it down to the running back. Check it down to the tight end. Let them go make plays with their feet. Bruh, that's what we need at the end of the day. So I thought it was a phenomenal pick for us. And getting into the next pick, pick number 138, we took A.T. Perry, wide receiver out of Wake Forest. We added more talent for Bryce Young, more weapons for him. How y'all feeling about this
one? Speed. Now I know what y'all saying. I know because it kind of seems a little hypocritical because I know like Spence, you was upset that y'all drafted 2 pass rushers. So why are you not upset that y'all drafted 2 receivers? This is the difference. 1, the way the boards is falling, and 2, you want to surround Bryce with as much talent as you possibly can. And let's not forget, when we actually had a quarterback last time we had a legitimate quarterback at Deshaun, his best year was when he had a whole bunch of speed at the controls. When he looked around, I got speed over here with Will Fuller. I got speed over here with Brandon Cooks. I got speed over here with Kenny Stills. I got a whole bunch of speed. I got a whole bunch of controls that I could throw the football up top, down the middle, through the side. I could do a whole bunch of things. That's what you're doing when you add in somebody like Matthew's going to be coming back. You just drafted Tank Dell, and now you added A.T. Perry. And we just talked about LaPorta. Who is stopping this offense? All I see is speed all over, and a quarterback that can make quick decisions and decisions on the fly. I think this is going to be a very, very, very dangerous offense. I love this pick. It's a depth pick. It also gives you more strength on offense. I love this pick.
For me, seeing him fall this far, man, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. Bro, 6'5", running like a 4.3, low 4.4. Bro, once he goes to the combine and he shows and we know what his speed is, specifically, once they get his official times, he's going to rise up the draft boards. If he falls this far in the actual draft, bro, he's heaven sent for who's able to get him. If the Texans are actually able to move similar to the way that we did in this draft from that 33rd pick, if they choose not to do so from the number 12 pick, if they just find that guy, man, look, this is a scary offense, hands down. And we easily, I don't think from this options, there's nobody within the division who's going to be able to stop this offense. Period.
I have to agree with y'all again. Another speed demon added to this offense, bro. And him, Mechie, Nathaniel Dell, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. I mean, you got 4 young guys on your receiving core already. And then you got 2 young tight ends in LaPorta and Tegan Quintario. I mean, those 2 guys at 6'5", big, tough guys that's gonna get physical, that can be threats
Yeah.
in the red zone. I mean, you're just making it easier for Bryce Young, and you're bringing him a center with Steve Avila at the end of the day. So I mean, you brought him protection, you're bringing him more speed around him, you're bringing him more tight ends and cushions to be safe to dump it off to, and he already got Dameon Pierce. I mean, and that leads into the next pick. We got this is the last pick of that Carolina trade that we did in the second round, and we was able to get Deuce Vaughn, running back out of Kansas State. And if anybody know about Deuce Vaughn, this guy's like Darren Sproles. This guy's like a speedster. This guy can make as once you let him get past you or make him past the second level, ain't no catching this guy. How y'all feeling about this pick, fella? Pick 147,
Love to
Deuce
pick.
Vaughn.
Love to pick. It's a guy who's going to be able to not only do exactly what you said, bro. They're going to be able to maybe even do some, some triple option. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll probably be able to get him out on the edges. You know what I'm saying? Be able to get that guy involved. They'll be able to put him on Texas routes. Swing routes. Little choice routes. Will be able to, and he'd be extremely valuable. And for the running back position when we were running screens, especially if we end up landing a guy like Cliff Kingsbury. I think we'll be able to fix issues like that and become far more explosive than we ever have in the screen game. And he's definitely a guy who's going to be able to take out wheel routes. Going to love to see it. And he's going to be a matchup nightmare for anybody who doesn't have the speed. If you don't have a safety on him, a corner on him, there's not too many linebackers who are going to be able to run step for step with him unless they bump the hell out of him and take him off of his timing and the quarterback just throws the ball late. Phenomenal pick. This draft right here is a doozy if it's the real thing.
Hello, Rex. Rex Buckhead. Your services are no longer needed. If we don't need you anymore. You ain't got to come to the stadium and pick up your stuff. We'll send it to you. You ain't got to send for your things. We'll send it to you. We'll send it to you. You in the Woodlands? Okay, yeah. We'll send it that way. Don't worry. We got you, bro. We got you. That's what that is, man. We got an actual third down back. I mean, like this is a guy who's going to be able to catch out the backfield. He's going to be able to make plays and also give Dameon Pierce some breaks. That's why you don't have to give him all those carries. You don't have to give all those, and he'll get good quality carries. Because the difference between taking off the fifth leading rusher in the NFL at the time and not giving him not one carry on the goal line, that infuriated me. Even though I wanted us to tank, I knew we were tanking. It still was infuriating to me. Now you could do that with substance. Now you could do that with a true purpose because you have somebody else legitimately that you can give the football to. It's a great pick, a good depth pick. Somebody's going to give Dameon some spells. That way you're going to put all those carries on him and also be a good third down back and a good safety valve for Bryce Young coming out of this offense. I love the pick.
So I know we taking a lot of y'all time because we did do a trade, so it was a lot of extra picks. So for these last couple of picks, it's 6th round, 7th round picks. These were the Houston Texans picks, and what we did here, none of the players that we really coveted or really wanted the most fell to the 6th round or 7th round because after the Senior Bowl they value jump. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name off these guys, and y'all just let me know out of these guys who is 2 of your favorite guys within this group. So for pick 188, we took Keandre Coburn, defensive tackle out of Texas. Pick 201, we took DeMarco Helms, safety out of Alabama. Pick 203, we took Jacorian Bennett, cornerback out of Maryland. Pick 207, we took Zion Nelson, offensive tackle out of Miami, Florida, University of Miami, the U. And pick 239, we took Kavion Merriweather, safety out of Iowa. How y'all feel about this group?
Personally, I like the Helms pick. Just seeing the highlight of him, he's a very hard hitter. Definitely can play down. He can be more helpful, within the situations as far as run defense and things like that is going to take place. So he could definitely be a good strong safety, good length, great speed. And I definitely like the Coburn pick. Because it serves another need and some depth rotation that we're sorely going to need at the D tackle spot. So I like both of those picks, and I like the other corner as well that we had right after Helm. So that's pretty much how it was. The board just fell. We just added everybody else just for depth purposes.
I like Coburn. Like he's a good depth player at defensive tackle. You need to get one, so and maybe you might get something out. Bennett is intriguing to me because I think he's very raw, but if he gets the right teaching. Hopefully, if J. Joe or somebody is around and he gets the right teaching and the right technique, that he might be able to be somebody. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro or anything like that, or even a Pro Bowl or anything like that, but I think he could end up working his way to be a quality starter, a guy who's not hurting you. He might not be making you extremely players, but he's a guy who's not going to hurt you and a good depth guy eventually. He's not there yet, but I think he has some tools that you can work with if he gets the proper teaching. But again, it's kind of like how y'all was saying, it was like how the board was falling.
Right.
And for me, I think we all got Coburn born on our board. And for me, I like
Right.
Coburn because we do need depth. We do need another guy with Roy Lopez, with Thomas Booker, with Malik Collins. I mean, we just need to add to that defensive tackle position in general. So adding a guy there, I mean, that's going to be very useful. Uh, so I think he'll be a good pickup for us. And then for me, it's gonna be Kavion Merriweather because I'm just gonna confuse his name with Mayweather's. I'm just gonna call him Mayweather's all the time. So I mean, he is a safety. I mean, we need another safety behind Jonathan Owens, and plus, like I said earlier, we need to looking to bringing in a veteran safety in free agency or a veteran corner in free agency as well. Especially since a lot of guys want to come and play D'Amico. So overall, fellas, before we get ready to go, what would be your overall grade on this draft? And if you could make any changes, what change would it be, and who would you have picked?
I think definitely for me it's an A-. It could have been an A+, and the only reason why is I think from an interior D line perspective, and maybe even a better linebacker, even though we got Toto Odos, I think those are two spots where we probably could have got an even better, like a guy like from Pittsburgh, Elijah Cansey. He's my favorite D tackle in this draft. Outside, him, Jacqueline Roy, Brian Brzee, of course, who can move all across the D lineman. He's just a D lineman. So and of course Jalen Carter, but he's at the top pick. He's not somebody that we're really worried about, and that we wouldn't be in a position to really take because quarterback is a much bigger need than D tackle at this point. So I think those are my and definitely the safety pick. Missing out on a guy like J.L. Skinner to be able to add to. To be able to add with Petrie would have just been fun to see somebody 6'4", running a low 4.3, a high 4.3, low 4.4, mid 4.4, just being able to move across the line similar to Kirby Joseph did for the Detroit Lions in the third round this year. So, those are some of my takeaways from the draft. But overall, phenomenal draft, very similar to last year's draft. We got a lot of things that we needed. We addressed all of the key pieces, and I think this is a very good start for what D'Amico needs to get his career started as a head coach for the Houston Texans.
My grade would be A, and I've said this before that you get Bryce or CJ, it can't get no lower than the A, and then you end up getting somebody like Tank Dell. I mean, so I would take up to an A+. And you got Miles Murphy, so it should definitely be an A+.
Yeah.
But the reason why I have to give it an A, you already know, is because you drafted B.J. Ojulari after you draft Miles Murphy when you could have had Antonio Johnson. You needed a safety. You just got a pass rusher. Now I know y'all probably say, oh, this is the corner, the guy who always talk about secondary. You're damn right. I always talk about the secondary. I always talk about it. I know I do. I absolutely know I do. I understand that. Okay, that's cool. You should have drafted Antonio Johnson with that 39 pick. The trade was phenomenal. The value you got for the trade, all the things that you got after the trade were phenomenal. Yeah. But you should have drafted Antonio Johnson with that 39 pick. That you did that, it would have been an A+ draft. But because of that, you didn't get a quality safety, and then you just got guys who got some flashes, got some skills, but need a lot of stuff. Could have drafted Antonio Johnson. But I understand you can't fix everything in one draft, but as of right now, I give it A, but I would change that 39 pick for Antonio Johnson. That would be my change.
You know what I just thought about? And I gotta agree with you. So I'll give this draft an A. But one pick that I totally forgot about was my boy Stephen Gilmore in the 7th round, cornerback out of Marshall University. He got
I
the
forgot about
DNA.
Ivan Pace too.
Yeah, but Ivan Pace was gone. Ivan Pace was gone. We couldn't get him. At the end of the day, to me, the player, I have to agree with Spitz. Now thinking back and looking back on the draft when we had to go through it and seeing that we had to settle with Toto Odo, and I like Toto Odo. Don't get me wrong, but to me, um, I would have preferred Jack Campbell at the end of the day over Toto Odo, or I would have preferred to have a guy like J.L. Skinner on this roster. J.L. Skinner would be last year's Tyreek Woolen. Let's
Yeah.
just go ahead and say that and put it out there. I mean, that guy's that talented. If he goes to the right scheme, if he goes to the right team, he's gonna be able to ball, and especially if he has the opportunity to start from day one. So,
Now he gonna get drafted by the Seahawks. Damn.
oh no, legions
No.
of booms, no, and they all gonna be six
Now he gonna
fours.
get drafted by-
they,
Oh.
they
It's
and
destined,
they
bro.
got
It's
DK,
destined.
and they got
You know,
DKs.
it's destined. That's why y'all shake your head because y'all know it's destined.
Nah,
It kind of is, bro. It's either that or
yeah.
he's gonna be paired up with Sauce with the Jets.
Oh
That's what I
no,
feel.
that's even
Like.
worse. That's even worse.
Really gonna be right.
That's even worse.
Yes.
So, chat, y'all make sure y'all leave y'all grade in the chat in the comments. I know it's gonna be some haters. There's always some haters on the videos. Oh, y'all should have won this. Oh, y'all should have done that. Y'all gotta understand. When the draft boards fall, it don't fall the way that you want. You're not always able to get the players that you really want. It's a lot of guys that we really like that we weren't able to get it in this draft, and we had to pass up on them. So it's hard decisions that you got to make at the end of the day. But
Right.
thank y'all for y'all support. Make sure y'all hit the like button, fellas. Any thoughts before we head out of here today?
Man, y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all go ahead and get in the comment section below. Let us know how we did. Let us know what you would have done. And let us know, did we get some good trade value moving back from 33 to 39?
And it is okay to tell these two guys that they were wrong and they shouldn't have drafted who they love. It's okay. I know y'all gonna agree with me. It's okay. Go ahead and tell them. Just go ahead and tell them. Don't worry about them. I got you back. I got you.
They put back in office. Trump. That's exactly what they put back in office.
Wrong. You're wrong. Fake news. Fake news. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Y'all can tell them that they wrong. Y'all can tell them.
And do you know what BJ Ujulari stand for? Billions on billions on billions on billions on billions. BJ Ojolari was the right pick. He gonna build superstars players, and we got the right pick, Spitz. Stop being the haters.
Haters, you should have drafted a safety. But okay.
All right. Well, we out of here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe and join us in the Discord. We always talking smack. We always talking about the draft. We always talking about the head coaching position. And D'Amico, get it done. Get Cliff Kingsbury in here. All right. We out.